Hello, now we're on Chapter 2, Lesson 1. So our essential question is, what strategies can I use to add and subtract? And we're going to be talking about the addition properties and subtraction rules. And some of the addition properties will overlap, be very similar to some multiplication properties. And these properties we're going to use throughout the school year. So bookmark this page, put a post-it note at the top. These concepts are going to be consistent throughout our lessons. Addition properties can be used to help solve addition problems. So before we start the problem, I want to go down and mark this purple box. Purple boxes are concepts that are going to be very useful throughout the year and often referred back to. So here are the three properties we're going to talk about with this lesson. The commutative property of addition states the order in which numbers are added does not change the sum. So 4 plus 1 equals 5, and if I switch around those two numbers, I get 1 plus 4, and that does not change the sum. It's still 5. That's not the same for subtraction, but for addition, and it also works for multiplication. It's called the commutative property when we commute or move the numbers around. The associative property of addition has to do with the grouping of the numbers. So this usually involves some parentheses of how we group the numbers. It states the way in which numbers are grouped when added does not change the sum. So I can group together 5 plus 2 and do that first, and I will get 10. Or I can group together 2 plus 3 first, and as long as all I'm doing is addition, the answer will still be the same, regardless of how the numbers are grouped together. Now the identity property, some people have called it the zero property, but it's more useful to call it the identity property because it's very similar to a multiplication problem that's also called identity. The sum of any number and 0 is the number. So 8 plus 0 equals 8, or 0 plus 8 equals 8. So if it has a 0 in it for addition, it's probably going to be the identity property. Now let's go back and look at what they've given us. Example 1, Carlos is buying the items shown. So we've got a triangle and we've got a drum. Does the order in which the musical instruments are scanned change the total cost? 10 plus 20 will equal 30, and 20 plus 10 will also equal 30. Because of the commutative property, the order of the numbers does not change the sum. The order in which the instruments are scanned does not change the total cost. This is the commutative property of addition. Okay. Now, example 2. There were 16 people at the pool on Saturday. There were no people at the pool on Sunday. How many people were there on Saturday and Sunday? So the information I need to highlight, 16 people on Saturday, no people on Sunday. What's the question? Question is, how many people were there on both Saturday and Sunday? Now, to pull out the information, we have Saturday, and we know there were 16 people, so that's the first part of our equation. And no people is the same as having 0 people. Remember the property that uses the 0? 16 plus 0 is the identity property. It matches the first number. 16 plus 0 equals 16. This is the identity property of addition. So there were 16 people at the pool on Saturday and Sunday. You can use properties and rules to find the unknown or missing number in any number sentence. So for example, this one, where we don't know the missing number, but we can figure it out because we have the first and we have the answer. When you subtract 0 from any number, the result is the number. So in order for the answer to still be 10, we have to take away 0. That's the only way to have the answer be the same as the number we started with. Okay. When you subtract 0 from any number, the result is that number, just like the identity property. When you subtract any number from itself, the result is 0. So 16 minus 16 is 0, and 20 minus 20 is 0. Okay. And that's what you're going to be doing. It even tells you for your guided practice which property is being shown in these problems.